Okay, I'm gonna make a really quick video about this because I have other things I have to do outside of where I'm at. um, I just got through watching a YouTube video about a mom called Nurse Hannah, whatever her name is, and her husband, and they showed some very interesting videos of her and her husband interacting with their like 2-year-old son at the time. As a mom of five, because yes, I've had five kids, I am highly disappointed in these videos. You can clearly see, and I don't have all the equipment that I would need to show you what I'm talking about and everything, but at one video, the child, her son, touched a hot waffle iron, and she looked at him and asked, "Why would you do that? Your kid is 2 years old. He doesn't know any better. It is your job as the mom to teach that kid not to touch hot stuff." I know at 2 years old, I touched hot stuff. I know at 2 years old, I shared food with my mother. Another thing that was in the video was this nurse was holding back her son while at McDonald's, if I'm not mistaken, or at another fast food restaurant or whatever. She was holding back her kid, her 2-year-old son, from getting food from her plate. It shows another video where they're out eating and her husband flicked the little boy's hand because he reached for, I think, fries or something like that off of his dad's plate. There's another video of them at the grocery store, and it looks like the dad's just trying to hand something over to the little boy. Keep in mind, this little boy is 2 years old. Now, at 2 years old, what 2-year-old flinches when your parent is trying to hand you something? Okay, this little boy actually, I'm trying to get my camera set up to where I could imitate it. This little boy in the video literally goes like this. That's telling me there's child abuse going on. Oops, sorry, y'all. My phone dropped. Then that tells me that there's child abuse going on in that situation. And for anybody, and I do mean anybody who's thinking, oh, well, they might be having financial issues, that's why they're not sharing their food with their kid. Let me clarify something. I've done research on this. Before I did this video, in fact, before I even finished watching the first video that I was watching, a nurse here in the US, where I'm assuming she's living at because that's what it looks like in the background and stuff. I mean, Subway, McDonald's, they're eating at all these fast food places. They're eating in Las Vegas, and they're starving their son with side salads. Okay, a 2-year-old child is not going to eat a side salad. All right, but I did the research on this. A nurse here in the United States makes 45, at least $45 an hour. An hour. Not a day. An hour. Okay? If you're making $45 an hour, you're out there eating Subway sandwiches, you're out there eating French fries, hamburgers, all this other delicious food that kids are going to be into. And your 2-year-old son is only getting side salads? There's something wrong with this picture here. And on top of that, I don't know where in the US they live. I can't say. But when it gets cold enough that a bottle of water in your car freezes solid, you're taking your kid out in this type of temperature to Walmart to supposedly buy him a jacket for winter. One, you should have already had a winter jacket anyway for the kid. You know it gets that cold? Get a jacket before winter hits, so that way the kid doesn't freeze to death. Two, she went into the store with her son, with her 2-year-old son, and flat out refused, absolutely refused, to buy a $35 jacket for winter for her son, her toddler, her toddler. Now, like I said earlier, I've got 5 kids. I'm anemic. I have health issues of my own. The states that I've lived in when my kid, I should say, one of the states I lived in when my oldest kids were born, got extremely cold. I knew the temperature. I always made sure they had the proper jacket, the proper clothes, proper shoes, everything. I can tell you right now, especially with my oldest one, even with him having the proper jacket for winter, if he even showed a slight sign of being cold with his proper clothes on, my jacket was going off and put on him. 3 boys, 2 girls, by the way. So you tell me how a mom like me with health issues, anemia, and all this other stuff that I have, including a heart condition, can sit there and do that for her child, putting my own health at risk to protect my child, as a mom should. But a nurse making $45 an hour at the very least, because she could be making more depending on her skill set, will not buy a $35 winter jacket for her 2-year-old son. Now, my oldest son is already full grown. He's a full adult. He's a full adult. I guarantee you, if he walked up to my door right now and told me, "Mom, I'm cold," the one winter jacket I have for myself would go to him without hesitation. If he walked up to my door and told me that he's hungry, even though I'm hardly able to feed myself right now, whatever's in my freezer would go to him. If any of my kids did that, my stuff would go to them. So, as a sorry, I have a puppy dog as well. As a struggling woman myself, because I'm unable to officially work, because due to my health issues, I'm actually fighting to get on SSDI right now. I'm not gonna deny that. But I have a lot of health issues that I haven't covered. So, as somebody who's struggling to even take care of herself, and don't worry, my dog has been well taken care of. I put him first. I'm not like all these bloody YouTubers that want to play around with animals and then throw them away. No, I can't imagine my life without my dog. I got him to help me with my health issues, like alerting me with my heart, and alerting me with several other issues that I have. He's getting trained slowly, but he's getting trained to be a um, service animal. So it's not just out of, oh, I wanted a dog, because I would never have done that to a dog. I make sure he eats plenty. Even if I go hungry, he eats. I make sure of that. But Tell me why a nurse making at least, at the very least, $45 an hour will not spend $35 on her 2 year old son for a winter jacket when it's only like, I believe she said 8 degrees outside at that moment. When a mom like me, having as many health issues as I do, struggling for herself, would gladly give everything I own to help my children out. I don't make $45 an hour. I don't own a big fancy house. I don't got fancy cars. I don't go out to eat. The last time I got to go out to eat was because my now ex boyfriend bought me food. Okay? He took me out to eat. Right now, where I'm at right now, I can't afford that crap. I have to think logically. Okay, let's put food in my fridge. Let's put food in my dog's dog bowl. Okay, I am not going to let him starve, even if I do. So if I'm going to treat my dog that way, and imagine how I would treat my kids, who mean everything to me. They are my life. They don't live with me, but they're still my life. So how are you going to tell me, as a nurse making $45 an hour, you're not going to buy a $35 jacket, winter jacket, for your 2 year old son while it's 8 degrees outside? You're not going to share your food with your son. You're just going to give him a side salad while you're eating hamburgers, french fries, tacos, what have you. You're just going to give your son a side salad at 2. How are you going to tell me when your 2 year old son touches a hot raw iron and jerks back and falls back in pain? Because you know that hurts. You're not going to sit there and rush to his aid. You're just going to look at him and say, why would you do something like that? You're not going to sit there and tell me, as a nurse making, and I can't stress this enough, making $45 an hour, you're going to watch your son play on a phone at 2 years old and be like, oh no, I don't monitor screen time. You kidding me? Do you know how many sickos he could be contacting out there in this world? Right? You know how many child predators could be out there grooming your kid? As parents, it is our job to protect our kids, not to just, oh, here's a phone, get online all you want. I don't care. Maybe I'm old school. I was born in the 80s. I mean, back with not only apparently parachute pants, but and stupid hairdos, but I don't really think parenting has gotten that lax, or I don't think it should have gotten that lax over the last few years. I mean, from the 80s on up, I mean, I know spanking's not right because, I mean, uh, I realized that when I was a kid with what I went through, but I don't think punishments have gotten that lax to where you'll allow your 2 year old kid to possibly be groomed. I don't think parents have gotten so stupid in their head that they wouldn't realize that your kid at 2 especially needs a jacket in 8-degree weather. I don't think they've gotten so stupid that they think it's okay to eat in front of their kid and not give him anything but a side salad. I don't know. If my generation, you did that, you got in a lot more trouble than just DHS or CPS. I mean, you had to deal with your whole family. You starve your kid, your family's gonna feed him and then beat the holy knockings out of you. You freeze your kid, you're gonna be out on the street, and your kid's gonna be nice and warm. Maybe, maybe nurse, whatever. Maybe this woman and her husband should get the same treatment that they're doing to their kid. Now, from what I understand, she has 2 kids. I don't. I think it's a son and a daughter. I don't know. Might be wrong. It might just be their son for right now. But I think it would be poetic justice if their son got to eat whatever he wanted: French fries, hot dogs, freaking tacos, freaking hamburgers, whatever he wanted, while his mom and dad only got side salads and no coat in 8-degree weather and smacked every time that they tried to grab his food. Or, uh, how about we lock them out in the freezing cold while their kids stay nice and warm? Teach them a lesson on what that poor child's going through. Just a suggestion.